Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 29 of Kenshi Birth of a Hive. So, let's immediately get going. What do I have in store? I have a lot in store. I'm gonna tempt the fates and try to multitask a lot. And by that I mean have two separate groups heading out, one including the queen. So, the queen here is going to stock up on a little bit of food for the road. We're going to follow Talon, who's the slowest of the group here, and we are going to go attempt to do some recruiting. We have one group heading to the south, and they took the more treacherous path, and they're heading towards the sort of swampy areas. Unfortunately for me, or for everyone in that group, I sort of low-key forgot the fact that they didn't exactly have sleeping bags. This group also does not have sleeping bags. In fact, a lot of them don't even have proper backpacks, but this is more of a recruit run. Hopefully I won't get into too much trouble. Which I say probably right before I walk into one of these live iron spiders. So we're following Talon, and we want to... Oh, speaking of which, there's a duke-out brawl here of a lost howler. I've always sort of been curious what they do and where they go. Now, before I forget, we also want to send... Seeing Healy and this group south, they when you load in, of course, you're not really moving, so we're going to continue skirting around the edge of the... Oh, there's a babbler. Babblers usually lose, whereas the howlers usually win. Skirting around the fog because we don't have protective equipment. Oh. I see. It's a team fight now. Ooh, wow, it's a 200 hit. Yeah, these guys are really strong. I've got to be very careful about that. So, we've got Queen headed into the World's End Flotsam Village area, maybe picking up some recruits. And then we have our trade caravan heading south, and they're going to continue to, like, Admag, sell some stuff, and then continue even further south to Shark, Workshop Complex, Clown Steady, Drifter's Last, that sort of area. There tends to be a lot of potential people to recruit around there as well. So the real advantage of our current group here is their speed. These guys are quick movers, whereas St. Healy at 17 is not exactly a quick mover. And then Queen is... Okay, yeah, you went the wrong way, Talon. Queen is temporarily... ill-equipped, but we'll buy a crossbow for her when she gets into the World's End. Now I'm gonna have to run on 2-speed just because my game likes to seize up and crash on me if I run 3-speed, especially with 3 groups in different places. We've got the Swarm heading south. We've got, I guess, Swords of the Queen heading east, and Hands of the Queen and Keepers at home, cranking out the skill here. Looking good. Cat number 3 is what we're capable of crafting. Now, before you all forget, if you haven't submitted ideas on Discord for the upcoming Kenshi poll, go ahead and do that. Because there is going to be a whole lot of things that we're going to address, and the more of your suggestions I incorporate into the poll, the better. What I'm mostly looking for is rules and goals, not so much mods. I feel like we've already sort of mod it till it broke, as my rates of crashing are higher than they normally are. So what I'm definitely looking for is ideas for restrictions and rules, things to either make the game harder, or goals of things for me to do. Everything surrounding the execute mod will be addressed on the poll, so I'm not looking for feedback on execute mod or anything surrounding that. But everything else, yeah, drop me a line. All you got to do to get to Discord, rodamont.com, click the Discord link. Discord, if you're unaware, for the uninitiated, is sort of like the new school Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, but it has chat capabilities. And the reason why I want the feedback on Discord is YouTube really only gives me notifications on first top tier comments, which means if you, let's say you make a suggestion and and either I need clarification or I need to ask you a question about your suggestion, any reply you make that isn't a top tier comment, meaning, just directly but not a reply, I won't get a notification for. And things, obviously, as a result, get quickly lost. So Discord is the place for that. And yeah, that's about enough out of that. So we've had a extraordinarily uneventful trip east, which is great. We've not really seen spiders or big things. We saw a few babblers and howlers duking it out, but that's honestly par for the course. Here we go. We got some shrieking growlers. That's the first group that we're happening upon. These guys are, other than the red howler that is incorporated in the group, not particularly tough. But this is not really a battle I'm looking to pick up anyway. Most of the people that we have in this group are ranged anyway. Yeah, there's another lost babbler. There seems to be a ton of these guys everywhere. Now, I have been chatting on Discord about the potential balance, or really lack thereof, of some of the mods that got voted up and incorporated. So, obviously, the execute mod is a hot button one. But that foot soldier shrieker that I saw, their stats were ridiculous. Like strong enough that she could probably take on some of the biggest bosses of the game. Ridiculous. And that sort of gives me pause, because it, in a way, sort of ruins the, it ruins the balance of the game. And that's always sort of my hesitation about incorporating mods into this series, is I don't want them to become massively imbalanced. So, for instance, the super sledgehammering weapons that I've got, they're not exactly fair, balanced weapons to use. A little bit. But, these things happen. And, of course, you all have great feedback on Discord. So anytime I have a question about these mods and how balanced they are, I get some pretty honest and immediate feedback, which is great. Another question that all you have had for me, if I do suit a lot of my people up with Naginata, what will be my offhand weapons? So I was thinking about that. I don't believe that there are really any... Okay, let's avoid that. The big thing nest. I don't believe there's really any, hiver-specific one-handers. You see the Western Hive and the Southern Hive with a lot of two-handers, but not a lot of one-handers. They do use iron clubs, and the Fog have their own sets of weapons. So I was thinking I'd probably end up buying katanas or ninja blades, something like that, for one-handers, but not manufacturing them myself. Because I'm only allowed to manufacture, for equipment that I use, I'm only allowed to manufacture hiver-based stuff. Speaking of which, pretty soon, I think I'm going to tell my craftsmen that they should start cranking out arms and armor, because we're getting up into the 50s range, and once you're around 50s range, you can start actually making some stuff and it be usable. These sort of awful, shoddy, low-quality stuff that sometimes, shoddy grade. What else do we have? Standard grade is probably when I start to think about keeping stuff, is when it's hovering around standard grade. Not that it's not good, necessarily. But lower quality stuff, alright, that toggle must, for instance, I can just toss out. I don't really need to wear that. Lower quality stuff might come with combat penalties, and it's not really offering a hell of a lot of armor as a result, which is really not what we want out of gear. We don't want it to slow us down or lower our stats and encumber us too. That's another big one, is a lot of the sort of best armor that I've found so far is also very encumbering. Obviously, the heavier the armor, the tougher you'll be wearing it, but it requires a certain amount of strength to do so. And because I've purposefully not done any strength training, no one is really particularly strong in the group. Ron and Queen are some of the strongest, 25, and what is Queen at? 22? And 25 strength is a joke. It's actually really, really low. If you look at really any of the NPCs that are in the game, their strength is considerably higher. You know, the town guards, for instance, are going to have a strength twice that of Ron's. And even then, at twice the strength that Ron has, it's still not enough to efficiently wield the weapons he has. So as much as a lot of my patrons want huge, bulky weapons because they're hilarious, kind of reminds me of Berserk or, you know, Final Fantasy, they're actually terrible to train on because they don't train dexterity very effectively, which means you're always going to be stuck attacking slowly and ineffectively until you ditch the bulky weapons and actually train up on fast-swinging ninja blades and katanas. Things that are quick to swing and do sharp damage is the long and short of it. So, super uneventful trip all the way into the world's end. I like it. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I do like how I wasn't waylaid or anything. So, Queen, who do we got here? Now that we've come all this way. We do have a pretty penny. We're not super poor anymore because of some of the trading we've done. And yet, I get here, and there ain't a hiver in sight. What are you? Well, you have boots on. You're a Shek anyway. And everyone else that came was just a mix of moral support and backup. You know, I didn't want to send... It would be foolish to send Queen alone. Alright, so we're starting to get some princes here. But can't talk to them. Meaning that can't recruit them either. Wow, there's 3 princes in this bar right now. And the only one that wants to talk to me is the Greenlander girl. Of course. Now, until I start getting higher tech books, the ancient books, which I will be getting from the other caravan that's currently deployed, they will be hitting up some high-tech book areas soon. There's really no need, necessarily, to have the Queen home to do the research, because there's no research. I mean, I guess I could buy some rice and do the rice research, but other than the rice research, there's really nothing else for me to do at home. Alright, so we just struck out 3 out of 4, last bar. It's also possible to find people in the Traveler's Store or the bakeries. Alright, the top floor here. Whoa! I'm currently loading a new zone with the other squad, and I just felt it all the way up here. Alright. Top floor has no one. The bottom floor has a hiver who doesn't want to talk to me. What is going on here? Oh, 2 hivers that don't want to talk to me. Alright, well, at least the populations are right. It's just, you know, the people that are just not looking for work. That's fine. Totally, totally fine. Alright, there's no one in here to recruit. What about gear-wise? So, we've got map of the border zone. Don't need that. Large backpack. I will want one of those, so I'm going to buy it. Large backpack will certainly... Oh, we have a few of them. Will allow us to move a considerable amount of loot, which is going to be useful when we're... Sorry, I was thinking. When we're cleaning up the battlefield of dead things. Alright, this is crossbows, I believe. Let's do some business. What kind of crossbow do I want to give you? So bolt heavies, bolt regulars. I'm probably going to do bolt regulars because I know how to make them. So I'm going to do this ranger. I could, of course, jump if I really wanted to. Well, I can't afford the Eagle Cross, but I could have bought a nicer crossbow. But just because it does more damage doesn't mean it's safe for her to use. I'm not looking for her to one-shot someone in her squad. A queen doesn't murder her subjects, you know? Alright, so we're all rallied. Talon actually had some stuff to sell, so let's sell the stuff I got from that little ruin. We'll just sell it to this crossbow guy to balance the books. And my other squad that's at Admag is probably ready to do some business as well. I'm going to keep the skeleton repair kit, however. In fact, I'll give it to Queen because she has a robotic part, and that robotic part doesn't heal normally. It will require repair. And then with Talon in the group, they're going to head to the Flotsam village. Maybe there's some recruits there. There's really nothing else around here unless I go really, really far east for me to do additional recruiting. Alright, so switching over to Sing Healy. Exactly pretty much where I wanted to queue them up. So that's awesome. Let's keep it paused while we load the zone. Come on, load. So the faction HQ for the Shek is, I believe, in this building. Yep, that's the faction HQ. And there we go. We finally loaded the zone. We could check out travel gear. There's the police station. That's a residence. Shinobi Thieves Tower. That would be good because I'm lacking a lot of backpacks. I've recruited a lot of people, but I haven't replaced their backpacks. And then there's the 2 bars over here with not a soul on the second floor except for 1 Shek. So that's a bad initial sign. Alright. So, Mr. Travel Store. Let's do some business. I'm going to check their maps. So, Infested Lab. Sure. I'll buy that. Sell my club. And there are some backpacks that they have for sale here. The nice thieves backpacks that are good for crossbowmen. But I can buy them cheaper off of the Shinobi Thieves. So the Infested Lab is down there near Shark. We're actually going to be near there sorta soon. Hesitantly saying soon. Because it's going to be a while. Ray and Thorns got a little stuck. Alright, St. Healy. Let's see. Looking for the trader. Here you are. So, they have the good backpack for St. Healy. And they have these larger backpacks if I want them. I'll buy one for Honey. And I guess I could go through... Oh, you know what? I really shouldn't be selling anything to the Shinobi Thieves because they only buy half price. Let's buy a bigger one for Ray. Alright, so forget doing business with them. I guess they have 2 police stations here, huh? Didn't realize there was that second one way out on the edge of Admag. Alright, so... Oni, how about you do the trading now? Unsurprisingly, the Shek have a crazy amount of Shek in here to recruit. Shek do sort of keep to themselves. Alright, this barman does not have a lot of money. But I can always hit up the other shops. That freed up a considerable amount of my space. And made me good money. Alright, so the only hiver here is a thief. Oh, no, there's 2 hivers, but they're both Shinobi Thieves, and they're not looking for employment. So, let's go next door. Send Frenchie in, who's our liaison. Alright, barman, guess what? You're going to buy some more of my junk. Alright, that's about all they can afford. And looks like it's a shop of Sheks. There's really no one else. Alright, over to... Maybe I'll go to the general shop. Alright, Ches, we're doing the trade with you. Welcome, friend. What do I want from these guys? So I do want to stock up on my iron plates because they're really not a renewable resource. And selling the big ticket items. I know, probably pain some of you to see me part with such good weapons, but they're just they're just not for... You know, I really will want to use hiver weapons and not the weapons of the enemy. You know, that might not be true when we get to Meito weapons, which is the highest tier weapon, which you cannot manufacture. Even Edge 2 and 1, you know, some of the top tier stuff are really uniquely good. But when it comes to just, like, weird cannibal weapons, I can accept the clubs, but the other pole arms I'm going to do without. Alright, so we've sold off everything we needed to, and we have 44k in reserve now. On everybody that has iron plates, I'm going to give those iron plates to Thorns. Lightning, some encumbrance. And then we're going to leave Admag, because Admag had nothing for us. Let's head over to Squin. I don't think I'm going to be able to find much in Squin that I didn't find in Admag, but we're going to pop around the Shek cities to see if there's, you know, items I want to buy or recruits I want to recruit. You know, the usual. Swords of the Queen. You guys are probably already in the Flotsam village. You are. Gonna give it 2 shakes to allow it to load. Still loading. Now, I don't think I'm gonna find anyone to recruit here. It's far less common, but it doesn't mean it's not worth the trip. So that's Mall. This is sort of their barracks. So I'm not going to find anyone there. Where is their... Alright, so they have a weapon smithy here. Armory, as they call it. And then the bar, which has the little rice bun symbol on it. These other things are just refuge. They're just buildings for the refugees. So, yeah, we just a bunch of female Greenlanders. If you're wondering why there's a lot of females, it's because the Holy Nation are particularly bad to females. So a lot of the females that were part of the Holy Nation come here to get away from sort of the persecution that they faced. I'm going to make Beep hold these backpacks. And going to make Hella hold some of the food. The reason I'm doing this is if Queen needs to rescue someone, I want her weight to be good. Basically, I want her to be able to just grab and go. So I'm just preparing for the worst. Hoping for the best. Alright, so she's pretty unencumbered now. Alright, well, I think I'm going to head back to World's End and just sort of camp out there for a bit, seeing if I can't eventually recruit someone as the list of recruits change over time. But before I do anything else, Jay, oh, you have been thoroughly enjoying that there throne, huh? Must be comfortable or something. So we can see who's idle. Looks like Skith is idle, so there's nothing to brew. That's fine. Skith will eventually be our barman. You know, the guy that gives everyone alcohol. Ron, you can have a seat. Pillar, there is no room for fabrics. Taking a look at these farms here. No, we're looking pretty good. Alright, how is our weapons? Oh, we're starting to get some Cat 1 Naginata. As you can see, the damage here is improved. Whoop, and the swarm is getting hit. So let me pause just a minute, and rather than enjoy the beautiful craftsmanship, check in on our friends over here. Oh, so it's a bunch of bone dogs that have some sort of cliff nest. And then some random 100 guardian that wants to do a bag check that I've blown past. Funny enough. Alright, Red Rain and Thorns, what are you two doing? These are some bad dogs. They, like, maybe the pass was too tight for them and they had to go around? I'll just sit here and wait. They'll catch up. They're fast. Alright, bag check. Sure. Now, you all have been telling me that sometimes the UC guards, you know, try to exploit you, and, yeah, there's not a lot of honest guards around. I've never really had the Shek pretend there's drugs or anything in my bag, but maybe even the Shek are guilty of it too. Seems like, you know, seems like sort of a thing. Alright, so we're still being targeted. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of wolves. This is another wolf nest. I'd stop, but I'm on a mission. Mission to recruit. Saying Healy's up to 19 miles an hour. That's an improvement. I'm checking their food stocks. Red Rain has a ton of food, so we're not going to have any hunger issues for a long, long time. That's one thing I'm definitely guilty of in my past Kenshi series. Every now and then I'd forget to get food, buy food, bring food when I left the base, and I'd very often be very hungry after I'd get halfway across the map. Because this map is big and there's no fast travel. And there's no, like, stilt striders or other means of quick travel either. I think that's something I actually find endearing about this game, is that you have to endure the world and its dangers, and there's no, like, I just want to teleport to the nearest town sort of thing that so many RPG games now have. Sure, it makes living off in the arse end of nowhere inconvenient, but one of the goals you all had set up for me is that eventually I will have sort of merchant shops, and I'll probably set up my merchant shops in the World's End if there's a building for me to rehab, and in the Shek territory. Alright, show me what you got. Concrete walls, already known. Harpoon, blueprints, advanced harpoonery. I'm never going to use harpoons, so I don't really need to buy that. Plus, it's expensive. I'll buy the iron plates. And this is a way station, so let's check the bar for hivers as we head south towards the swamps. Now, the swamps are not a particularly safe place to be. Part of me wants to start buying sleeping bags, stocking up additional sleeping bags. So we have one hiver here, Logan, who's not looking for work. And I think that's it. Didn't see anyone else. These maps are already known. Alright, so 2 sleeping bags. Let's buy them. Just in case. Top floor looks hiveless. Hiveless is probably a derogatory term that the hivers have for one another. Kind of like the way we say bastard, right? Hiveless are kind of bastards. Not my hiveless, but I don't know. I'm just rambling. On we go. This way station was not fruitful. Let's poke into Squin and then go down into the swamps. While I'm in the swamps, I'm really going to need to have undivided attention on this group, because one puddle filled with, you know, filled with blood spiders and I become dinner. So I'm going to have to be cautious about that. Now, look at that. I might as well be walking on the sun. Where? Aw, man. I was about to pan to the sun. Oh, this time it's not Thorns and Red Rain, it's Thorns and Cookie getting separated. I'm sort of half-eager in just finding a group of hungry bandits and just mashing them to bits, showing that I am so much stronger now than I was, you know, towards the start. Let's do a quick stat check on these guys. So we got Frenchie, who's Melee attack and defensive 20s. Honey hasn't seen a lot of combat yet. Cookie. Look at you. Ches. Thor. Ray, who's newer, so stats are lower. Minus, who's very new, so stats are much lower. And Sang, who's very new, stats are much lower. I would say the toughest opponent here is probably Thorns, but he's also an elder and has stuck around the longest. Alright, here we are. We are right next to the travel gear. I'm surprised it's open. And I'm gonna have to wait for the building to load. Lights just loaded. Still loading. Come on. There we go. Maybe they're not open. Whoa! Guards! Come on! You guys are jerks. So, what ended up happening is I'm sort of low-key trespassing because there wasn't a door. There wasn't a door when I walked in here, and now... Yeah, could I just surrender? Alright. Yeah, I know, I committed a crime. Let me out. Who is my next best doctor? That's the problem, is they just beat the hell out of the doctor. So, let's go stats here. Field medic. Ches? Yep, Ches is the closest thing we have to a field doctor. So, that was buggy. Alright, note to self. Wait for a building to fully load before entering it. Because I even had noted, hey, I wonder why they're open right now. Because usually at this time of night, they aren't. And obviously, they weren't open. At least I kept my arm. I barely kept my arm. I was so close to losing an arm. I know. I've got a bounty. Oh, I have no bounty in the shack. Okay, cool. So although they're probably a little pissed that I was trespassing, it was an honest mistake. And I didn't make it worse by fighting. I just let them beat them up for the accidental trespassing, and we'll toss them into a bed and let them rest. That's kind of funny. Alright, well, in resting, we should be able to be back on the road quick. While I'm here, I might as well look around, see if there's anyone to recruit. Well, there's no maps or anything in that bar. Alright, next bar is over here. Top floor. Oop, sorry for the bad camera work. Top floor looks like there is a hiver. But they're a thief, so not going to be recruited. Oh, there's another one. Again, a thief. Come on. This game's starting to be racist. And this one, a thief. Alright, I'm starting to think that you just think hivers are thieves. Yeah, no wonder no one likes hivers in the world. You think we're all thieves, and apparently we are. Alright, Mr. Frenchie. You get your meds back. And you're healing up. You're almost conscious. Yeah, you're somehow conscious already. Oh, you're... Who splint you? Did you splint you? Not with those wobbly arms, you didn't? I don't know. Someone splinted me, and I don't know who it was. Alright, let's pause a moment. Pop over to Crab here, who is making... What is this? Cat 1? Cat 1. Yeah, we're getting some Cat 1s out here. I am excited about that. But we are, of course, running a little low. Not critically, but a little low on iron plates. We're going to have to melt down some of those Cat 1s and fill up our plate stocks. Which is why our away team is stocking up on that. So, Angel, I'm going to send you over here and grab yourself a Naginata. And keep the katana. The katana will be like a good offhand in case I suffer an one-arm injury, because these naginata require 2 arms to operate. Snowy has a rusty one. Time for you to get a better than rusty one. And then everybody else, I guess Crab already has a good one, but everyone else will eventually get one as well. One of these good ones. And then keeping their offhand weapon in case. Maybe I'll even use the sort of rusty ones, because they're not actually all that bad. They're actually pretty good. Now, of course, these only really help me if an animal attacks me, and most of the animals that are around my town right now are not animals I'd want to pick a fight with, like a leviathan. One leviathan, unless I cheesed it with like crossbows, could probably wipe out the entire town. Which is why you've not seen me pick fights with leviathans yet. Meat pants, you are going to need some more lighting, aren't you? I'm using torch posts because I have a lot of materials to make them, and they're pretty cheap. There we go. Now we can actually farm a little more easily. I really need to start training up a second farmer, but that's when we're going to do additional recruiting. I haven't done that recruiting in a while. Pillar, when you're not... I don't need more than one fisherman. How's our cactus supply? Dwindling. But our green fruit isn't. We wanted another green fruit farm, didn't we? So let's go do that. Farming. Vegetable large. Straighten it up. This is probably way more food than I actually need, but whatever. And then wheat farm. Let's get another one, because we're using wheat for power too. And then we're going to want lights around these farms. Cool. That'll give me something to work on. Wheat straw. So Skith. Oh, you're already not grogging. How's my food supply? Oh, my food supply is fine. My bread. It's just I don't have a lot of wheat straw. But we'll get it eventually. Alright, now that we've sorted out the home team, the homies, let's teleport back over to Queen. They aren't exactly in World's End, are they? Oh, they're not even close. Talon must have got stuck. Oh, no, they decided to camp right next to cannibal hunters. Well, that's fine. Cannibal hunters are friends of ours. Yeah, there's a lot of cannibal hunters there. Alright, let's continue on to World's End and see if there's anyone to recruit. Now, I don't know, game mechanics-wise, how long it takes for the available people to recruit to turn over. But I do know it does turn over. Alright, he is very lost. Just cut the switchback. Alright, so the new farms that I'm constructing, I'm going to have to queue to also manage. And that's probably more than Meat Pants can manage pretty soon. I'm going to need to add some additional farmers. Which means I really need to find someone to recruit. And on that front, I've not been doing well. Alright, what I will do is have a prince or princess per bar. And just have them hang out there. I can always check bottom floors easily. And we'll hang out. So Beeping Queen will take the big one. Silvershade and Talon will take this one over here, and they'll be idled a while. The only worry, of course, is food consumption. So sometimes when they're moved too far apart, they're too far to share food from their backpacks, and it looks like Talon's already pretty hungry. So, Mr. Talon, let's have you buy a bunch of cooked fish and go sit down. And then Hella, you're going to be on this bar. Looks like you're solo. And Green is a drone. So he's not recruiting, but at least he'll keep an eye on this bar. And hopefully we get someone to recruit. Now, there is the small chance that the available recruits won't turn over as I'm watching, sort of like Schrodinger's cat scenario. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but if it is, we'll find out. It'll be unfortunate. Frenchie is still healing up. At some point, I'm going to want to have him... Yeah, I don't know when, but at some point I want to head on out, and I'll carry him if I need to. Because everyone else is just sort of waiting for him to heal. Politely. I think once I'm able to craft... So Snowy... Yeah, once I'm able to craft at about 1.0 speed, which is about armor smithing 55, 60 or so, I'll start actually making hiver armor. But right now Snowy is aimless, so... Oh, did we? Yeah, we plate beaded as much as we could. So actually, let's try to make our first hiver armor. So let's do light plate armor. Clocks in at 12 kilograms. That's pretty heavy. The leg plates clock in at 10. Helmet, groin plate. Medium. Alright, so let's start with the light plate armor. And that requires fabrics and armor plating. It's actually pretty cheap to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have one of each, and we'll just see how it looks. So Snowy, you're going to be heavy armor smithing. And that's exciting. And then let's go with lights. Let's illuminate that. And this. So Jay will be over to install some lights in a minute. He's also working on the farms. He's basically moving wheat from one farm to the next. That looks pretty cool. Scrawny, raid, heading here. Alright. Well, it's one of those raids we might have to abandon ship. We'll have to see. I don't know yet if that's what we're going to have to do, but I'm prepared to do it if it need be. I'll just try to grab as much of our food as I can so it doesn't go to waste. Alright, these electrical components. Heresy, get back to sciencing. Let's put these electricals away. And additionally, well, that's a lot of fabrics. Let's do the same with fabrics. And that should allow our weaver to get continuing on that, which is, I guess, a laboring task because he's so good at laboring. As you can see, we're starting to crank out some armor. So we got a little bandana made by Resnick, and you know, it's not hiver stuff, but it's clothing. It's not armor, I guess. It does have a little bit of coverage, but it doesn't protect very much. Resnick, of course, cannot wear helmets. But, Snowy can. That's a good look. Crab, you want to wear the other one? I don't think anyone wants the basket hat. It's kind of a joke. It's the only helmet that helps out your stealth, but it looks ridiculous. As proven here. Yep, ridiculous, right? You all know it. You don't have to lie to me. I know how silly that looks. Now, we do have gi pants for Talon when he gets home. That will help his martial arts bonus, allowing him to land shots. Eventually, you want to get rid of all those bonus items because it actually makes it harder to level. Oboro. Oh, you don't have work either. Oh, you're back to making bolt regulars. But I don't have a repeat queue, so you'll be done after that one. And go sit. Cool. Alright, seems to me like the farm's done. Yep. So meat pants. Let's move this wheat farm XL to the top of the queue. Or not the top, but next to the other wheat farms. It's a lot of farming to manage. So I really need an understudy, but it's not going to be one of the people that are currently home because they've all queued up for other tasks. I guess it could be Geyser. But he said he wanted to do hauling and laboring. And the iron makes him strong, so I'll leave him off of it. Alright, looks like we already have our first light armor, so let's take a look. It covers 100% of the chest and stomach, which is really good. It has it has some pretty decent resistances. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of nice. And it barely hurts melee attack, although it dramatically hurts the stealth. See, it's not something to stealth in. Okay, so meat pants. You now also have a vegetable farm to manage. He's probably like, dude, don't. Why? Because I just keep adding more farms for him. But now we have 2 green fruit, 2 cacti, 3 wheat, and 2 hemp, or a hemp and a cotton. So we're farming everything but rice. Alright, checking in on World's End. As the patrons, I think part of me thinks I need to unload the zone. So switching between, yeah, here's a bunch of Ninja Guard that are hivers. Switching between Flotsam and World's End is probably my best bet. Because these dudes look very much the same. That's still Fade. And then there's like ninjas over here or whatever. No, the ninjas are leaving. But I stand by what I said. I think I will need to swap zones. Because Horse and the other dude that's later. Yeah, alright. Talon, we're following you. Take us over to the village again. Alright, Frenchie, you are healed up enough. Let me pause while the zone loads. Or sort of keep it paused. You know, I never really truly learned my lesson. Check these bars while it's still here. Oh, we already unloaded it. There we go. No obvious hivers. Nope. That's a big old nope. And what about... I don't even think I really need to check the other bar because they're never here. But what I can check is... I will. Just in case there's one that slinked in and I hadn't noticed. Oh, there's a thief up top. Now, I do have enough money to pay the adventurers people to send recruits over to my base, but I haven't seen one of them in a while. That's a thief fence. Oh, here we go. Headhunter. Yes, send them to my base. Hivers. Here's your money. Alright. And let's follow Sing Healy. And what I'm going to do is run sort of along the side of the swamps. Oh, the bag check. Run along the side of the swamps rather than going through the swamps to get to Shark. Eventually, I'll have to go through the swamps a little bit. But I'm going to not commit to being inside of the dreadful swamp area as long as I can. Because it sucks. Alright, they're still not in Flotsam Village. God, this area brings back memories, doesn't it? Fighting the dust bandits, barely winning. Oh, how it would be different now. Alright, Frenchie, no more accidental trespassing. Surprisingly enough, he still has a bounty on his head. I think that bounty was placed there because of the accidental trespassing. Shek didn't care as much, but the United Cities heard that he was an accidental trespasser and threw a 1,500 bounty on his head because they could. Ooh, we got some slave mongers. You guys thinking what I'm thinking? That so far in this episode, I have not had any action and that I owe it to you? Scrawny raid has arrived. Well, I'm probably not going to multitask 2 raids at once. Sad, but smart. So I'm going to have Sing Healy head on over to where they're headed. Let me just briefly check the bar here for recruits, and then I'll poke back home. They, like, what's weird is they're cannibals, but they want to, like, make announcements first. I don't know. I don't understand cannibalism at all. They're like, hello, we're here. We want to eat you. Would you please come out and give us your appendages? Why they have weird British accents? You tell me, man. They're the ones screeching all the weird nonsense. Alright, hands the queen. So, we've got a mega swarm of little biters. And if we had everyone home, I've already determined, because I literally did it, we could defend ourselves. But given that it's just Ron and a bunch of craftsmen and women, I'm gonna just leave. We did say that I wanted to pile up the food, so meat pants. Why don't you line your pants with meat? Live up to your dreams. There. Meat Pants has every last ounce of edibles tucked away in his loincloth. These dudes would be so easy to kill had I, you know, a home crew, but I don't. And I'm not a fool. I wouldn't want anyone to die. Alright. Jobs are off, so they don't continue. They're not going to try to go do something stupid. What are you trying to do? Operate machine? Jobs off. And while I'm out here, they really can't do anything. As you can see, they're scurrying around like little ants in a colony. Here I am making bug jokes, and I happen to be the bug. And they're maybe looking for things to steal. But we don't have a lot here. We're not wealthy. So it's not that big of a deal. Some of them are swimming out to us. You know what it could do? Which is possible. So, let's do this first. We are in a defensive situation, so it's not a big deal to have a squad larger than 10, as it's not an attack squad. It's a defense squad. So I'm going to roll them all into Hands of the Queen. Let's get over to maybe this micro island. And we could just let's swim together. And if they're still here for a bit, I'll lure some out to the micro island. Now, some of them are obviously leaving. And the recruit's delivery is going to be funny because they're going to be happening upon this raid. But what I'll do is I'll lure them out to this teeny little way station islandy thing. That's barely an island, a sandbar. And lure some of them over and kill them. Because why not? Alright, Sang Healy. You are heading to this road. I'll set it on 3 speed here. It's funny, they're searching. Some of them find us, as you can see. But as long as we're in deep water, what are they going to do? You know? They can't really do much. Alright, now that we're on land, there is one that found us. I don't think he realizes how outnumbered he is. I think Ron just pushed him. It definitely looked like a push, and it definitely killed the dude. I find that hilarious. Ron's so strong, a shove is fatal. Oh, here's the recruits that we wanted. Oh no, it was just a Lost Howler. So look, you know how strong Lost Howlers are. He managed to down like... Okay, no, he downed a lot of them. Never mind, he did a considerable amount of damage. I initially did not see all the ones puddled in the water. So, that Lost Howler got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, even if our Ron was the strength of Lost Howler, which he is not, we've already established that it's a bad idea to take them all at once. What I can do is just sort of stand my ground and see who I can lure over. As soon as the recruits show up, and how close are they? Where are they? I have no idea where they'd even leave from. Wow, they're leaving. Okay, if they're leaving, let's go stand in the center of town and defend it. Now that there's no one here to hurt us. Alright, job's back on, hold is back off. And I'm going to keep it one big group. Just it makes it a little bit more manageable. Yeah. Alright, so the swarm is getting attacked. So let's check in on them. I don't know what is attacking them, but whatever it is, it hurts. Oh, it's a bunch of berserkers. Oh, not good. I really need to... You know what? I can actually take this. Maybe not. I don't know how many there are. Because berserkers are pretty tough. But no, I'm going to cut and run. Alright, Cookie's having trouble running because lack of leg. Now, if she was to get picked up... Oh, Ches is... It would be Thor, I think? Ches is having trouble running, too. They run at 17, so I just need to be faster than 17. Don't worry, Cookie. I'm not going to leave you. So, Thor, give Cookie your armor and your pants. She could carry it, and somehow, even though the total amount of weight that you have to carry hasn't reduced, you are faster. Alright. And they're going to be patching themselves up. I did do a little bit of damage to a few of them. But they have superior arms and armor. At least it's not blood spiders. Alright, let's camp out here. That's far enough away that I think we'll be alright. Alright, Thor, you were carrying Cookie. Cookie should get splinted up. Yep, Cookie is now splinted and fine. So Thor gets his armor back. Slowest mover is still probably Singhili. It is. Let's continue on our way and get... I'll babysit them a little bit more seriously now that Hands of the Queen is not being attacked. That's another problem with multiple squads is you could run into a scenario where everybody's getting attacked all at once and you have to micromanage 3 battles, and the loading for that is brutal. It's gonna burn a hole into your CPU. Oh, Swamp Turtle, Swamp Turtle. Do I want to kill you? I sort of do. I sort of do. It's good practice for the new guys. It's a combat of no consequence because you're really not going to get hurt. As you saw, the hardest attack was on Singhili as a 19 or something. It's not that bad. Alright, and then Thorns can pocket the meat. I feel bad because swamp turtles are kind of friendly and nice. They loom around. They don't cause any harm. But they're just so easy targets. It's like squishing bugs. No, that's a bad analogy. It's like candy from a baby. Not squishing bugs. I discovered some ruins on my own. Didn't need a map for that. Oh, and more swamp turtles. Now, the other issue with swamp turtles, of course, you don't want to pick too many fights here because there are also blood spiders. And if you get wounded, especially leg wounds where you can't run very good, and you happen upon a big swarm of blood spiders, that is a different issue. That's a life-threatening, potentially. Blood spiders are nasty, nasty critters, and they swarm and they eat. They consume flesh. They will eat you alive, the way cannibals do. So we're almost in Shark, which is sort of the heart of the swamp, I guess, would be a good way to put it. And we'll take a look to see who there is to recruit there, and then we're going to head southwest to the southern UC cities. The UC is probably... Oh, wow. Really loaded that zone. The UC is probably the most... the largest empire in terms of land, because they have... You know, if we take a look at the map, we've got some United Cities here, and United Cities here. I forget if Brink and Black Scratch is United Cities as well, but the United States has a little bit of territory, a little bit everywhere. Alright, so this is probably the Hounds or something? Yep. The swamp is known to be sort of policed by gangs. Well, there's a bunch of black shifters. Wow, there's like no patrons here. No, I don't want to play games. Where's the other bar? So that is Faction HQ for the Hounds, I think. Let's go to the big shop. We'll do a little bit of shopping. This is the trade caravan after all. What do you got? Roof decorations. Research already known. Alright. Swamp fences. I actually want swamp fences. So let's buy that. Swamp dome, sure. That was very expensive. Swamp store, sure. Just for the knowledge. Not necessarily going to use it. Iron plates. Iron plates. Cool. Some more blueprints. And we're back to a normal amount of money. I think I spend a lot in blueprints, don't I? Now, they have some iron plates, but not enough to warrant me trading. The dancing skeleton. Oh, even the pets can come in. Fit through that door. Alright, so you're a stone rat. Stone rats are another swamper gang. So I'm not going to be able to recruit him. Nope, there's a whole lot of nothing down here. Let's talk to the bartender with Honey. Ah, the skeleton bar sign. Sure, I'll buy the blueprints for that. That's kind of a weird thing to have blueprints for. Alright, there was definitely... It was a bust here. So we have the recruits coming. And the only issue with that is we don't have a whole lot of money. Oh, we do have a prince at home, though. So I would be able to recruit princes. I might want to send the queen home, is sort of what I'm thinking. And this trade caravan might want to turn around pretty soon. I'm going to go to the workshop complex, though, first. But with that said, I am indeed out of time. So I want to remind everyone that is still watching after this over full hour episode that if you would like to see your idea on the poll coming up on Saturday, you got to drop me a line on Discord now. Do it in the next day or two, because soon that Saturday episode will be recorded and the poll items will be locked in. Alright guys, for all the patrons and the viewers that support this channel, thank you so very much. I deeply, deeply appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time. Adios!